Hello students, today's chemistry class is on the topic volumetric analysis. Volumetric analysis is an aspect of chemistry which involves laboratory work, which involves titration. As you already know titration. You see the materials that are on here, the materials you require for a particular titration. But when you titrate, what is actually what is titration all about? In your junior secondary, JS3 basic science, you were taught acids and bases. And you were told that an acid reacts with a base to produce salt and water only. Do you remember being taught that? An acid reacts with a base to form salt and water only. Now you are in senior secondary. When we say volumetric analysis, titration, we are trying to show you an example of a neutralization reaction. And on the board, you see that we're going to use phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein is an indicator. Phenolphthalein is an indicator. What do we mean by an indicator? In chemistry, when we're carrying out titration, the reagents are usually colorless. Like the acid you're seeing here is colorless. The base is also colorless. So when you carry out neutralization, which is running the acid from the burette into the base that will be in the conical flask, the two are colorless. How do you know when the neutralization is complete so that you stop running the acid into the conical flask that contains the base? It will be difficult unless you have a coloring agent, unless you have an agent, a reagent added to the reaction mixture, which is going to change its color at the end point to help you know that the end point has been reached. So indicators help us to know when the end point of a neutralization reaction has been reached. In today's class, we'll be using phenolphthalein as the indicator. There are other indicators, like the litmus paper that you were taught of. The litmus paper you worked with when you were in junior secondary and also in your SS1. Do you remember litmus paper? What colors do they have? We have two litmus papers, that is the red litmus paper and the blue litmus paper. Do you remember? Okay. Today we are using phenolphthalein indicator, and I said we also have a metal orange indicator. Why do we choose to use the phenolphthalein indicator today? The reason is that phenolphthalein indicator is the best indicator to be used when you are working with a weak acid and a strong alkali. The best indicator to be used when you are working with a weak acid and a strong alkali is phenolphthalein. The acid on the board is ethanoic acid. In your SS1, you were taught that ethanoic acid is a weak acid. Do you still remember? And you were taught that sodium hydroxide is a strong soluble base. A soluble base is called an alkali. Do you remember? And you were taught in your junior secondary that when an acid reacts with a base, salt and water are formed. Salt and water only. The materials we have here, the material made of iron here is called the Richter stand. We call it an apparatus, the Richter stand. Here is the empty beaker. The glass material which has lines, which has graduation marks on it, that helps us to read the volume, is called the burette. Do you see the pipette here? The pipette. This is called the pipette filler. You will see how we make use of it when we start the titration. And here is the dropper. We will make use of the dropper to collect the phenolphthalein indicator. This is the glass funnel. We make use of the glass funnel to pour the acid into the burette when it's time to pour that. What shape does this look like in mathematics when you were in JS1? Do you remember? Is it a cube or a cone? It looks like a cone, so we call it conical flask. Conical flask. Okay. And these two containers here, they have they contain solutions. The solution, as you can see here, B, that is a base, a soluble base, and here A, it means an acid is contained here. So in chemistry, the materials we can touch, you call them apparatus, but the reagents, the substances like this, we'll call them reagents. Do you understand? In our next video, we'll carry out the actual titration. Remember, we are using phenolphthalein as the indicator. We are working, and the reason for that is that we are working with a weak acid and a strong base, a strong alkali to form salt and water only, to produce salt and water only. Thank you, students.